Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams. My name is Javon Adams. You can call me Jay or J Love. That man is Ed Smith. He not only played professional baseball, but he also played in the National Football League for that first Super Bowl bound team for the Atlanta Falcons. He is an author. He is a motivational speaker. What is good, my brother?
Week one almost in the books. We got one to finish tonight, and we got a bunch of stories to talk about, including one that I just remembered popping in my head.
Yeah.
We got to get this ESPN thing figured out, bruh. I might not even be able to watch the game tonight because of the dispute between DirecTV and Disney or whatever's going on.
You would have thought that they would have got it, that whatever they would have got it taken care of by at least Sunday night or something.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch my the NFL countdown yesterday morning, up bright and early, and go, and I was, because you're not thinking about that stuff. Pop on my ESPN, and go that message I've been looking at for the last week plus. Sorry, but the dispute is, I'm like, so then I go down, figure I'm going to backdoor them. I'm going to stream it like everybody else, right? Mm-hmm. I had to eventually get all this, get this code to put in, and I get to the part where they ask you for who is your provider. I hit DirecTV, right? Next thing I know, you will not be able to watch this. So, they're getting us all over the place, man.
Yeah, man. So we'll see. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. I saw something about that on Awful Announcing that I think DirecTV was taking it to filing litigation against ESPN. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up maybe while we're doing the show. But yeah, so a lot of stuff to go over. But first, you mentioned this before we hit play or hit record. The Tyreek Hill incident. So Tyreek Hill, wide receiver, fast wide receiver, talented wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, is on his way to Negro. So on his way to the game because they played at home yesterday. I forget who was their opponent. They played Jacksonville, yeah. And so he was pulled over for reckless speeding. So going pretty fast, right? But things escalated quickly, as they say, because before you know it, he is on the ground in handcuffs because the police, with 4 other police officers around him. There was speculation that he was using profane language in terms of talking to the policeman, but so he was detained shortly before the game, and then he was released. And actually, a few of his teammates, one Calais Campbell being one of those, who saw their teammate, they saw a black man on the ground, and so they were trying to figure out what is going on. Calais Campbell ended up getting detained a little bit and released, and so fast forward a bit. The officer that ended up ultimately detaining him has been put on administrative leave. So maybe he was a little bit too overzealous in terms of what he was doing. And so Tyreek Hill was asked about that. And for the most part, he took the high road. He just said, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? What would have happened if this was somewhere else and the same situation was going on? And it makes you think. I mean, when my son, I got 2 sons. So when they're out and about and you just don't want them to, if they know that they're being approached incorrectly by a police officer, that they then maybe puff their chest out a little bit, and that man with the gun and the badge all of a sudden wants to show who's who and who's the alpha in this situation. That's always concerning to me. But yeah, so you brought it up, and I was going to mention it as well. But your thoughts on this, and I imagine this story will have some legs as well.
Oh yeah, and for anybody who thinks that we're all the same all the time. Now, we all bleed. You cut us, we all bleed. I don't care what color you are, what ethnicity, what ethnic background you come from. Doesn't matter. Male, female, yeah.
Yep.
Does not matter. When you cut us, we all bleed. We all bleed the same blood. But don't tell me that there aren't instances where the outer portion of our bodies, the color of our skin, does not play a role in how we're treated, or we are certain situations are handled. And I'll tell you, being a black man my entire life, and I've never lived a day without being a black man, I've experienced some stuff in my days, bro. You got to remember, early in my career, I was playing minor league baseball, traveling in the middle of the night sometime, getting to different cities, traveling from here to there through the South and different things. And I experienced enough where I know we're not all treated equally. And also, it's not. My dad used to tell me all the time. He would warn me, when you're in certain situations, you sometimes maybe have to act a certain way, or like for instance, when I used to get stopped sometime, and even to this day, Jay, I make sure my hands are where they can see them, and I'm not making any sudden moves. I'm not giving anybody any excuse, literally, yes, sir, no, sir, officer, hands on the wheel or wherever so they can see him. I'm not causing you any problems. I've heard the stories and I've seen the stories, and we've all watched the news enough to know how things can go crazy sometimes. This thing with Tyreek, if he is, name somebody else on the team who's doesn't look like him. Do they have him handcuffed behind his back and with, face into the cement? I don't know if they do that. Somehow I got to that point, and for them to put this dude on administrative leave that quickly, there's going to be a story that comes out from this. And
especially if he was wearing the body cam. If he was wearing the body cam, then all this stuff is right there in front of you, or unless maybe it was conveniently turned off. Who knows? I'm just speculating. But just that body cam is the moment of proof. The moment of truth. Yeah.
And what's sad is you and I, we have to actually address this with if you think of this day and age, 2024, we have to address this with our sons. This isn't just, we have to make a point to let them know sometime, everything is not black and white. And sometimes we have to act a certain way, or you might expect this. So, we have to have those conversations, and this is just another illustration of that. And I'm really interested to hear how on game day, and he was driving crazy, probably fancy car and all that kind of stuff. I'll give him that much. But how it went from that, hey, I'm right here next to the stadium, just trying to get to the game, to all of a sudden face down in handcuffs. I want to hear
just give me my ticket. Let me roll on.
Yeah,
I'll keep it moving.
Yeah.
And I wonder when you think about there's that, what is it? There's the DWB. We've all heard that, driving while black. And so that can be driving while black. You in a car in a neighborhood that you shouldn't, that you shouldn't. And I'm saying it in air quotes for those who are not watching us on YouTube, that you shouldn't be in, or you in a vehicle and just driving around wherever, and that you, in air quotes again, shouldn't be driving, and that becomes an issue. Oh, well, how did you get this? What do you do for a living? No, wait a minute. That's none of your business. If I was speeding, then give me a ticket and let me keep moving. Well, why? What's up with the mouth on you? Well, no, just give me my ticket. And so then it's ego gets involved, and all those things start to careen out of control.
Well, I said no excuses for the reckless driving, and I want to hear how it got from A to Z, because there's a whole lot of letters in between that somebody's got to explain to me. I've been pulled over before, and it takes a whole lot to get to that point. I want to know what he did, supposedly, for them to have him face down on game day of all things, when everybody knows where everybody's heading. I mean, it's not, this wasn't a minor league baseball game. This is the Miami Dolphins, number one wide receiver. Somebody had to know something. And like I said, it's just sad that we still have to talk about these things in 2024, but it's still happening. Some people think it doesn't, but yeah.
We'll see. So I'm sure more information will come out, so we'll see. But it doesn't bode well, especially when the officer was put on administrative leave, not 2 days after, not 5 days after, the same day. The same day. So we'll see about that. So you are a hater.
A hater?
Yeah, you are a hater. So I want to give you your opportunity to hate on or to celebrate the downfall of the Colorado Buffaloes, because I was just kind of surfing through the channels on Saturday, and I came through and I saw, wait a minute. It is, they was getting spanked.
Yeah. Could have been a lot worse.
They were playing it, in Nebraska. But my goodness, and I saw a tweet or I saw a tweet or an Instagram post from Dion where he talks about kind of being humbled or something along those lines. But I was thinking of all those folks that they like the Biggie Small song. They pray and pray for my downfall. They just wait. So your moment to go on,
Well, first off, I do not like. I love the fact that we have all these African American coaches out there. Shout out to Northern Illinois going into beat.
But that was black on black crime.
Black on black crime.
That sucks, though.
No, that's exactly what I said the other day. That's black on black crime. But I like to say either way, we were winners because one black man, taking that small university and doing that. That was, But then we get Deion Sanders, who, if instead of all the Aflac commercials and KFC and all that kind of stuff, if he spent more time trying to coach them boys up instead of.
You can't say that, man, because they do that stuff in the off season. And you hating.
I'm saying it sarcastically, but here's the thing. He spent so much time, in my opinion, promoting his son and his greatness and how great he's going to be. And then when they don't support him, meaning because he's got a horrible offensive line, when they don't support him, it's all their fault. And I'm thinking, Deion, you're the one who went out in the portal and got all these kids. You picked them. And now all of a sudden they ain't blank and they ain't this and they need to protect my son. And it's like, wait a minute, you're the one who went out and picked these kids 2 years in a row. So either you're a bad talent evaluator, or you're bad coaches because somehow, some way you need to do better than this. So for me, the pleasure that I got in watching that, I can't even tell you, bro.
You did. I knew you did. You're the first person I thought of.
I'm serious, just because he's all knowing, all telling, everything, and he can't figure this one out. And, and this was Nebraska. This wasn't Ohio State or Georgia. So get ready for a whole bunch of these throughout the season in the Big 12. Welcome. And the clock is ticking on Deion Sanders. I'll give you this real quick. Clock is ticking. He's only got one more season with his son here and Hunter and his oldest son and stuff like that. Is he going to want to stick around after they both go off to the NFL?
Yeah, because they're going to the draft next year.
They're going to the draft next year, and it's going to be a big tell when all of a sudden he doesn't want to coach anymore and is going to turn the reins over. And I see it coming, and that for me is going to be the biggest just slap in the face for all the kids and that university that have kind of put in on Deion.
They riding with him. They're riding with him. The student body is riding with him. The alumni is just riding with him. Yeah.
I heard a story, and I might need to do some research on this one, that Shador left the field early before at the 2-minute warning or 2-minute whatever. I'll have to look into that. And if he did, to me, that would, because once again, it's all about him and his dad promoting him and these commercials and this, and because, they didn't protect him, and then they just throw another quarterback in there to take the beating, that type of thing. My biggest problem with Deion is that it's all about us until it's all about me and my two kids or me and my, that's just not fair. The way he's doing this, and
because one of his other sons was on the team, he got injured.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was gleaming. I was smiling when they started to roll on them, and I'll do it again. I'm not ashamed to say I'll do it again this coming week. I think they play Colorado State. I'll be rooting for Colorado State. So that's just the way I'm rolling.
All right. Easy Sports Talk Show. He's Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. I'm going to throw a couple things out my brother's way as well. Do you think that the Panthers are ready to fire their coach already? I mean, because that owner is always just ready to just fire people willy-nilly.
I feel sorry for Bryce.
Man,
it looks so bad. I mean, I knew they were going to get beat going into New Orleans. I didn't think they were going to have their pants taken down and bent over a chair like that. That was just, and they look so inept. And it's not supposed to look like that. I know it's a new coach.
It's not.
It's not at the NFL level. Everybody's getting paid. It's not supposed to look like that. Looked like Alabama versus Mercer. That's not supposed to happen in the NFL.
Ooh.
I mean, you feel bad to a certain degree for whoever's enduring that, but at the same time, everybody's getting their money and going home to nice houses. But that owner, he's not going to stand for that too long, bro. And the problem is, he's the one who created it, though, in my opinion, without firing these coaches and making them take certain players if he did that. And so it's going to get ugly and uglier moving ahead because they can't figure it out. And it looked really bad.
Because you need time, but then you also want to have competent people. If you compare to what we have going on here with the Arizona Cardinals, while the record doesn't show, but you can see that they're building a culture, where at least you see the effort and you see the discipline, right? The talent might not be there, but the effort and the discipline we see is there. So that's the difference. That's the contrast.
You get to a point too where who's going to want that job? Coach with any type
somebody will say, I can be the one.
Yeah. But more than likely, it's going to continue to be people on their first go around because anybody with experience, we've already seen what he'll do to an experienced coach. And I'm not uprooting my family and everything to go there to have this man tell me how it's going to be done. And then 2 years later, fire me. And I'm
maybe a year. Yeah.
So, but he'll get young first timers and stuff like that. And it's so hard for them to turn that stuff around, especially when the clock starts ticking the moment you take the job. So it's like a vicious cycle, man.
Vicious cycle. Speaking of that, we'll get to some positive stories here, but I was thinking about you as well because when this news of this particular signing came out, we were both just flabbergasted. So Deshaun Watson has 2 more seasons with Cleveland, and he's not good. Somebody said, I think it might have been Dan Patrick that I heard say this. It may have been, maybe it's this morning, that said that he doesn't even look interested. It may have been somebody else, but he doesn't even look interested, as if I got my money. I am not even interested in playing. Let me just get this money. I'll throw the ball when I got to throw it, whether somebody catches it or if it's in the right vicinity. That's not my problem. But I got this money and I don't really even care anymore.
I'll take it a step further. He doesn't look interested in trying to solve the problem or the equation. You put it in front of him, and most quarterbacks, when they, you give them here's you try to figure this out. And, they put the time in, they work, they get better, and they, figure stuff out. And he's looking at it like, I don't even care about that. And this is game 1. So disinterested, the game of the week as far as Fox was concerned, against the Dallas Cowboys, and you come out there and play like that, and you got 16 more to go. You know what I see in his immediate future, Jay?
What's that?
Shoulder ain't feeling right.
Oh,
might have had his because he checked out last year, right?
Yeah.
You got 2 more years, and they got to give him his money regardless. All of a sudden, like you said, it's a knee, it's a shoulder. Something doesn't feel right around week 6 or 7, and they start working on that, trying to figure it out. We got to get him back on the field. He ain't get back on the field. Y'all got to just give him his money and get it over with.
Soft tissue injuries are the ones that you can't. Hey, I'm just telling you, it hurt right there, man. I don't know it might not be showing up on the scan, but I'm just telling you how I feel.
He looks that disinterested, and I don't know where the talent went. That's for us, it's like it was just a few short years ago that he was one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and nothing happened to him physically before he started getting these nicks and stuff. But he doesn't even look remotely like the guy that somebody would give 230 large to and say, "Here, we're going to give it all to you." I mean, he really looks like he is not putting the time in the wrong space, in the wrong place, and they can't do anything about it but give him his money. You can't even cut him. You just got to give him his money. Man.
Give me my money, man. Okay, so you take it where you want with a positive story or two, because I've been throwing this negative stuff out here. But I will say I'm kind of looking forward to the Jets 49ers tonight. So looking forward to that. I think you mentioned that last week, that's something to look forward to. But what are a couple of positive things, whether college or pro, that came out for you this weekend that stood out for you?
Let me see. I'll give you another negative real quick.
Okay.
Damn Falcons got me again, bro.
You even said that you said the Falcons should win. So you were confident that they should get it.
Just come out and they went and just dribbled down their leg and got all their front of their pants wet and everything. And they were wearing khakis, so you can't even hide that. That's how bad it was, bro. And you got to go back in the room. You sitting there trying to fan it, try to dry it off. You can't even dry it off. And the water splashed on me from the sink. Yeah, ain't no water. Pissed on your damn leg. That's exactly what the Falcons did. They pissed me off while they did it. Golly. Yeah. On the positive side, let me see.
I guess it's a good thing that Jordan Love's injury isn't as bad as it looked. That could have been.
Yeah. Let me look at my
the Detroit Lions. They pulled it out in overtime last night, so that was
good.
Yeah,
Detroit looked good. Let me see. Green Bay. Houston. I like the fact that CJ Stroud. It looks like he's not going to have a sophomore slump. He looked really good in that first game, and he looks like he's the truth. So that was good to see. I did smile a little bit at how bad and how rough it got for Caleb Williams. I mean, Wonder Boy with the orange fingernails and everything.
See, hate.
No, I'm just saying that it just proves it's not that easy.
Right.
Just because he was, he's can't miss and all this kind of stuff. They got the W, but definitely wasn't because of him. So, that was really interesting. The rest of the league, Dallas got their win, Tampa got theirs. New York Giants. Oh my God, that's just bad.
They were booing them already, right?
Yeah, already booing them. I don't know whether they're booing them or the uniforms. They were both that bad. I don't know if you saw the uniforms. It was ridiculous. So, all in all, as long as I get to hopefully see tonight's game, a good first week in the NFL. College football, we only had a couple matchups. Wasn't anything
Texas,
really
Texas,
good.
Michigan. I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
Yeah, Texas. They showed Michigan. I don't know whether they just missed Harbaugh or those 20 players that graduated. Might be more than anything. That was a little bit of it. And then other than that, it wasn't. Other than the Notre Dame game, there wasn't a whole lot like South Carolina, Kentucky, stuff like that. It was a real quiet weekend. So all in all, like I said, as far as the NFL, good first week. I am 16. I'm 12-4 on the week. As far as my pick. So not bad. Okay. Giants got me. Picked them. I don't know why. Atlanta, Cincy, and Green Bay. I lost those 4.
All right. So he's the one and only Ed Smith. We do this thing 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. A little mix of had to give the stage to Ed to let him express his haterade. To share his haterade with all of you. So again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's the Easy Sports Talk Show at the Easy Sports Talk Show. You can go to our website as well, easysportstalk.com. Again, that's easysportstalk.com, or just go and search Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams wherever you find your great podcasts. And as we always like to say around this time, you can